A very good morning, students, my dear. Here I am going to move on with prose. The first chapter of prose, Chief Seattle's speech. Now, see, children, in this speech of Chief Seattle, you must first know who was Chief Seattle. Okay? It is not a kind of story, neither it's something like a ballad or something like that. It is just a speech where Chief Seattle belongs to the Squamish tribe. Okay, he was a Native American chief, a member of Squamish tribe, and he was a very prominent figure, a good orator, who pursued a path of accommodation and reconciliation with white settlers. Like he was with the favor of red Indians, and he wanted to settle them with the white settlers. So here in this speech, he is telling, or he is called by the big chief. Okay, so first you should know the short description of Chief Seattle. His name is actually Seattle, was a Squamish chief who lived on the island of the Puget Sound. As a young warrior, Chief Seattle was known for his courage, daring and leadership quality. Okay, and here in this speech, Chief Seattle, that he belonged to a place. This Seattle name came from a place. Now you can see the first picture, that you can see this white, black and white. That is the previous time how the Seattle looks, and now latest picture how the place Seattle looks. So Chief Seattle's name was based on this place name, that is Seattle, because he was a great person, he was a prominent figure. So on his name the name was kept. Now in this story, he is giving a speech in which he argues with gently irony in favor of ecological responsibility and respect of Native Americans' beliefs, traditions and land rights. He is trying to tell their belief, their traditions and the land rights. And he says, although what he actually said may have been lost through translation. Now this story or this speech was written in that language. That time the Squamish people used to speak a language known as Lush Hootseed. That was the language. And after a lot of translation, it has been written in this English version. And many of the, like you can say, the good lines or many of the lines may be erased or something like that been done. So not the original speech it is. So Chief Seattle only want to say here that how we people have the ecological responsibility and respect of our land, Native Americans, and the rights which we have. So four main things what he is telling, or what you should know of Chief Seattle, is he belonged to Squamish tribe. He is a powerful orator, brilliant argumenter, and he is wise with profound knowledge. Very wise person. And in this speech, two main character you will see here: Big Chief and White Chief. Big Chief, who is also known as Great Chief. Actually, Big Chief and Great Chief, same person. And he is the president. Means Big Chief and Great Chief means the president of America. And White Chief means the governor. Okay. So don't get confused in the chapter. Children get confused with Big Chief. Sometimes he is known as Great Chief, White Chief. So White Chief is governor. Big Chief and Great Chief are the same person. That is the president. Okay. Now, why this place? Why it is called Seattle? Seattle is the northernmost large city in the US, United States. The settlement was moved to the eastern shore of Elliott Bay and named Seattle in 1852 in honor of Chief Seattle of the local Duwamish and Suquamish tribe. In honor of this person whom you are studying about his speech, Chief Seattle's speech. So in honor of Chief Seattle's, this place name was given as Seattle. Okay, this place Seattle, this name was given in honor of Chief Seattle's speech. That is why he is known as Chief Seattle. Now, in this speech, he is telling about, like, he is being called by the great chief at Washington, and the white chief and the big chief, they have greeted him, sent him the letter of goodwill and friendship. So what is being explained here, when he is called, as he is a good orator, very talented person, he first told the white Americans that I did not come by my own self. Your great chief, white chief, they have called me. So he's trying to tell here that don't think that I'm here by my own way, or I want to, like, I want this land, nothing like that. He go on with his speech, he starts his speech like, yonder sky that has wept tears of compassion. Like he's starting with a very warmth way, or very in a very different style. He's saying, yonder sky that has wept tears of compassion upon my people for centuries untold, which to us appears changeless and eternal, Machen said, my people. Now, he is with the people, Red Indians. So you should know two things. There were two people, Red Indians and white Americans. They are called Red Indians because of the failure of Columbus' navigation system. He went away from his route towards India and ended up into the continent of America, and saw people who were red in skin. Since he didn't know where he was, he thought it to be a part of India, and he called them Red Indians. So in this text, Chief Seattle delivers a speech at Washington in 1854. He marks the white chief for the acknowledgement of his greetings of friendship and goodwill. He speaks in favor of ecological responsibility and respect of Native Americans' land right. Okay, children, it's a big speech, so in this video I cannot go line by line, so I'm just summarizing and telling you all that what all been given in this speech. First, where he delivered the speech at Washington, who called him, the white chief and the big chief gave the greetings of friendship and goodwill. Then when he came, what he spoke in favor of ecological responsibility and respect of Native Americans' land right. He offers greeting of friendship to the white people. He wants his tribal people to be protected by white people, and he appeals the white people to be just and kind towards his people. He said that I don't want this land. I am not at all interested. Why? Because I and my people, they belong to this land. So why we want it? When it is art, then why we want it? So whether you keep us here or not, my people's soul, whenever till we are alive or when we are dead, our people's soul or our forefathers' footprints are there on this land. So we are not here to take this land, we are here to settle the matters, and we only want the greeting of friendship. But the white Americans, they were very smart, they were very arrogant at the same time. They never wanted any two set of people. They wanted everything of their own. But Chief Seattle, in his speech, nowhere he was negative, or nowhere he showed that he wants the land. He was very positive person, a very good orator. He only appealed them that be just towards your people. The Red Indians are also your brothers, and we all belong to the same land. And he told the people, he was telling about the hostilities, the sign of protest. He was telling the people that youth are very impulsive. They take action very fast. They are not even showing or not even thinking once. And he also shows that when young men grow angry, what they disfigure their faces with black paint. And what the black paint suggests? That suggests the sign of protest. He's saying they the black paint on the face shows that their hearts are also black. They are cruel, they are relentless, and they never think of their parents, their old people. So we should not be so protesting. We should create, we should have the hostility, it should grow. And if we are belonging to the same God, our God is not different, we belong to the same God, so we should have the same mentality. We should not just fulfill our greed, or we should not depend on any particular or any kind of particular thing. And he, in full of his speech, giving various example, giving various quotations, giving various reasons, he is telling the people like that day and night cannot dwell together. Like you have to choose a particular, if you want day also, you want night also at the same time, it cannot happen. It has a period. So same way you have to know that we all belong to the same land. But nowhere in his speech Chief Seattle persuaded them. He didn't beg them that I want this land, give this land. And finally, when he understood this white Americans, they are very rude, very cruel hearted. So what he said? He said very easily that whether you give or not, my people will be always there on this land. When they will die, and when your children will be all alone on this land, these red men, they will be always there, invisible. They will be invisible, but they will be with your children to protect them, to guide them, because this land is ours. When it is our land, no one can throw us from here. And he says that in all the earth there is no place dedicated to solitude. And when he says at night, when the street of your cities and villages are silent, and you think them deserted, they will throng with the returning host that once filled them and still love this beautiful land. He's saying, we Red Indians, we love this land. And my Red Indians, they will be always there. When you will think everything is gone, when no one is there, my Red Indians, my people will be there for you all. Whether we die, whether we are alive, we will be always there, because we don't want any kind of war, any kind of fight. We want the goodwill, we want the friendship. And then he says a philosophical note he gives. And see, there is no death, only a change of world. He's saying, if I say my people are dead, for the dead are not powerless, they are not powerless. He says there is no death, only a change of world. Don't think the Red Indians are died, they are dead, so they will not come. It is not a death. There is no death. There is only a change of world. So our presence, my people's presence, will be always there on your land, and we will be always there to protect. So overall, he wants to tell the white people that you have to respect your ecological values. You should have the responsibility, respect towards the nature. You should it's a kind of a note of reconciliation when it's tribal people and white people are not settling up well. So it is kind of reconciliation note where nowhere he is begging or persuading. He is trying to maintain the relationship with love, loyalty and trust. Okay, these things are being thrown light by this speech of Chief Seattle. When you will go line by line, you will get to know more, and if any doubt, you can carry on with the things. Thank you.